So I'll be sharing my slides now. Okay, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we will see with the second part of the cells, which is called as a cytoplasm. Okay, so if you can see from the figure itself in the diagram of a cell, so you'll be able to identify. So whatever all that area where all we have all smooth endoplasmic reticulum, or whatever all these are, we used to call it as organelles. Okay, so these organelles, wherever these organelles are being attached or suspended, that area is called as the cytoplasm. So if you, like I've said, we have three parts of a cell. So the first part is called as a plasma membrane, the outer covering. Then we have the nucleus, okay, the nucleus, which is the green color, if you can see from the diagram, and the other remaining part is called the cytoplasm. So a cytoplasm, it is an aqueous substance in which the cytoskeleton is dispersed, okay. So cytoskeleton also I'll be teaching you later in the different parts of the cytoplasm. So this actually this cytoskeleton, it is being dispersed all over the parts of a cell, okay, all over the cytoplasm, the cytoskeleton. And the other parts which we can see in the cytoplasm is the organelles. So whenever we say organelles, these are small bodies type of structure which are usually present in the cells, okay. So these some of these organelles, they have membrane, some of them they are without any membrane. Okay, so but most of the organelles which are present in the cytoplasm, they are membrane bound bodies which are collectively known as the cell organelles. Okay, so all these organelles will be discussing related to this one by one. Okay, so just remember, in the cytoplasm, it is an aqueous substance in which all these organelles are being suspended or they are being attached in the cytoplasm. So the organelles which are mainly found in a cell, we have the endoplasmic reticulum, the Golgi apparatus, the mitochondria, ribosome, lysosome, the centromere, and the cytoskeleton. So, and not only these, even actually if you see even the nucleus also is being present in there only, but like I've said, the nucleus is considered as a very important part of a cell. So we are taking it as a third part, okay? So these, you remember, these are the main organelles which are found in a cell. So now we will discuss with these organelles one by one. So we'll start with the first one, which is called the mitochondria. Okay, so this mitochondria, it is a very important, okay, so if you can see from the diagram, so that's, okay, if you see that sausage type of structure, okay, that is called as the mitochondria. And this mitochondria, it is also a very important part of a cell. It is also called as the powerhouse of the cell. That means whatever energy it is required by the cell, it is being produced from the this one. This mitochondria. Okay, so whatever energy, whatever it is needed for the cell function, all it is being provided from the, or it's being produced from the mitochondria. Okay, so this is a brief, this one, the structure of the this is the structure of a mitochondria. Okay, so like I said, this mitochondria, it is also known as the powerhouse of the cell. So you have to remember this word, very important. Okay, so whenever we talk about mitochondria, then immediately you should remember that, okay, mitochondria, it is a powerhouse of the cell where all the energy is being produced from there. Okay, so they are usually involved in the aerobic respiration. So what do we call aerobic respiration? This is the process by which a chemical energy, it is being made available in the cell. So that's why, that is the main reason why we call it as a powerhouse, because whatever energy, whatever it is being needed by the cells, all those chemical energy, it is being produced from the mitochondria. And this is in the form of ATP. ATP means adenosine triphosphate, okay? So which releases the energy when the cells break it down, okay? The synthesis of ATP is most efficient in the final stages of aerobic respiration, which is a process requiring oxygen. So without this, okay, so the process of respiration, it won't be completed. So who provided energy? It is mostly from the mitochondria of the cell. And the most active cell, so the most active cell, they usually have many number of mitochondria, like the liver, the muscles, then spermatozoa cells. So like the more active the cell, that you can understand, because if the cell is more active, that means it will need more energy. So in order to get that energy, where do we get that? From the mitochondria. So if the cell, it is that type of cell which really needs to perform lots of function, so in those type of cell they will have many mitochondria as compared to those cells which does not perform that much of any type of function. So because our liver, our muscles, continuously we are using them, so we need adequate amount of energy. So in these type of cell, we usually have large number of mitochondria. Okay, so just remember, a mitochondria, it is a powerhouse of the cell, and it is also involved in the aerobic respiration. Okay, so when we say aerobic respiration, it is a process by which the chemical energy is being made available for the cell functioning. Okay, and the more active the cell is, okay, and the more number of mitochondria they will have in the cytoplasm. And if you see a mitochondria, it is mostly divided into four compartments. Okay, so if you see from this diagram, so you'll be able to see that it is a sausage type. So we used to call it as a sausage type. Okay, so it has a sausage type of structure with a sac. Okay, it is sac means it's like a covering. So here in this mitochondria, we usually have four compartments, like I've said. So we have the outer compartment, which like an envelope type, which covers the mitochondria. Then we have the inner compartment. Okay, then within this outer, and again in the inner compartment also, we have a structure, okay, a folded structure, which is called as a cristae. Okay, so under the cristae, within them, we have the granules, we have the ribosome, then we have the matrix. Okay, the matrix is actually the main area which is really involving this matrix is this liquid, blue liquid structure, if you can see, blue liquid fluid. So this is the area where most of the energy synthesis or the all those uh, releasing or synthesis of energy takes place in the matrix of the mitochondria. Okay, so all this, and also we have RNA. Okay, and so this is how the compartment actually it is there inside the this one mitochondria. Okay, so it has an outer membrane, an inner membrane, the matrix. The matrix is the blue color. Okay, then we have the space between the two membranes where it contains the enzymes. So in between these outer and the inner membrane, also we have so many other enzymes. Okay, which really helps in the functioning of the cells. So like I've said, the inner membrane, it is thrown into fold called the cristae. Okay, so this fold-like structure you can see. So those are called as a cristae. And the aerobic respiration takes place where? In the matrix. Okay, so this matrix, where it is present inside the cristae. So this is about the mitochondria. So a mitochondria, the main function is production of energy, okay, which is required for your aerobic respiration, and it is also called as a powerhouse of the cell. Okay, clear? And a mitochondria has four compartments. We have the outer membrane, then the inner membrane, the matrix. Then we have the space in between the two membranes, which contains all different types of enzyme. Okay, and the inner membrane, it is thrown into different folds, or it's being to be structured in a fold-like structure called as a cristae, and the energy, it is where it is synthesized in the matrix. Okay, so this is all about the mitochondria. Are you clear with this? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so next we will move on with the next organelles, which is called as the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so this also it is present in the cell. If you, I'll show you the first diagram. So here you can see, okay, so endoplasmic reticulum. So we have actually two type of endoplasmic reticulum, which I'll discuss later. We have the smooth endoplasmic reticulum and the rough. Okay, so if you see near the nucleus, so those structures is there, okay, endoplasmic reticulum. So just near the green color and little bit with what is that, peach color, okay. So those are your endoplasmic reticulum. So what is this endoplasmic reticulum? Okay, so it is an extensive series of interconnecting membranous canals in the cytoplasm. Okay, so when we say interconnecting, it's like a canal. So it is like connecting to each other. So it's like, as you can see from the structure itself. Okay, so it has an interconnecting canals which is present in the cytoplasm. So like I've said, we have two types of endoplasmic reticulum. We have the smooth and the rough. So what is the main difference between these two? Whenever we say smooth, endoplasmic reticulum, so this it is those type of endoplasmic reticulum where there is no ribosome being attached. Okay, so whenever a ribosome is being attached to that particular endoplasmic reticulum, that is called as the rough. Okay, that is the main difference between these two endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, smooth means there is no ribosome attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, and if we say rough means, as you can see from the diagram itself, okay, there's dot type. So those are the ribosome. So whenever a ribosome is being attached to any type of endoplasmic reticulum, we call it as the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. So what is a smooth endoplasmic reticulum? So it synthesizes the lipids and the steroid hormones, and it is also associated with the detoxification of so many type of drugs. Okay. So as you know that whenever we take any form of drugs, whenever we take any form of pills, so all this need to be detoxified. Otherwise, what happens if it does detoxification means they are trying to break down the drugs, they are trying to process it for excreting, because everything that we take, okay, whatever drugs we are taking, not everything we are going to be utilized or used in our body. Some needs to be this detoxified. That means some needs to be at least they need to solidify it, they need to process it for removing it from our body. So this smooth endoplasmic reticulum mostly helps in the detoxifications of some type of drugs. Okay, and some of the lipids also are used to replace and repair the plasma membranes and the membranes of the organelles. So suppose there's sometimes maybe what happened, there might be some injury to the plasma membranes or something which really affect the structure of these plasma membranes. So in that type, what will the smooth endoplasmic reticulum do? They will try to replace and repair the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, and any type of membrane, if any organelles, okay, even suppose I have membranes, whenever we say membranes, that means it is a covering type. So even the organelles, just before now also I have talked about mitochondria. In the mitochondria, it is also covered in a membrane at the sac. So suppose the membrane of the mitochondria also it gets disturbed or it gets destroyed. So in that situations, the smooth endoplasmic reticulum will try to repair the membrane of the mitochondria. So likewise, the membranes of all the different types of organelles also, whenever they are destroyed, they will be repaired by the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so just remember smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The main function is detoxification of drugs and repairment and replacement of the membrane. Okay. The next is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So whenever we say rough, it is usually started means it is usually attached with a ribosome. So whenever a ribosome is attached to that particular endoplasmic reticulum, we call it as a rough endoplasmic reticulum. So these are the sites for the synthesis of protein. Okay, because actually a ribosome, what is the main function of a ribosome? Okay, so that this also will be discussing later, but actually the main function of a ribosome, it is for the synthesis of protein. Okay, so it is the main area where all this protein needed, okay, it is being synthesized from the ribosome. So some of the which are exported from the cells. Whenever we say exported, that means they are being released from the cell and they are being utilized for the other functions. Okay, so that is the enzymes and hormones that leave the parent cell by exocytosis to be used by the cells elsewhere. Okay, so whenever you hear the word exocytosis, even yesterday I have mentioned, exo means outside of the cell. So everything will move out of the cell. When we say endo means it will be coming into the cells or inside of the cell. Endo means inside, exo means outside. Okay, so this is about your endoplasmic reticulum. So remember in an endoplasmic reticulum, so it is nothing but an interconnecting membranous canals which is present in the cytoplasm. And in this we have two types of endoplasmic reticulum. We have the smooth and the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So whenever we say smooth, that means these are those endoplasmic reticulum without any attachment of any type of ribosome. But when we say rough, that means they are usually attached with a ribosome. And the main function of the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, it is mainly for the detoxification of the drugs, as well as the repairment and replacement of any plasma membrane, or even the membranes of any organelles when they are destroyed. Okay, and when we say rough, since they contain ribosome, so the main function here in the rough endoplasmic reticulum, it is mainly the synthesis of protein. And not only that, they will also export the protein outside of the cell through the process of called as the exocytosis. Okay, so are you clear with this endoplasmic reticulum?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So next we will move on with the next one, which is called as the Golgi apparatus. Okay, so I will show you the first diagram, because in your exam usually you don't need to draw each and every organelles or structure. Okay, so what you can do with this one diagram only, with you can just draw this one, and with this you can explain everything. So if you can see here also, we have the Golgi apparatus. Okay, so those purple color, okay, just below the nucleus, those are called as the Golgi apparatus. Okay, so let's see what is Golgi apparatus. So this Golgi apparatus, it consists of a stack of closely folded, flattened membranous sac. Okay, so these are called as a membranous sac. Sac means it's like it is, and flattened, as you can see from the diagram itself, they are flat and they are folded. Okay, so this is also, structure is almost similar like an endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, even here, all the sac are being arranged in this sequence. Okay, they are in very flattened, and they are in a present in a sac-like structure. So it is present in all cells, but it is larger in those cells that synthesize and export the protein. Okay. So what happened actually? If you remember, I have mentioned from the endoplasmic reticulum, like especially the rough, okay, the rough endoplasmic reticulum, they release some protein, okay. So what happened? Those proteins which are being released from the rough endoplasmic reticulum, where they are going? So they will be going to the Golgi apparatus, okay. So once they reach the Golgi apparatus, what will happen to that protein? They will be enclosed in a sac, and they will be called as the secretory granules or the secretory vesicles. Okay, I'll show you in the diagram. So if you see from this diagram, those round structure outside the Golgi apparatus, so those are secretory vesicles. So secretory vesicles, it is what is there inside it? It has a protein. Okay, and from where this protein came? This protein is those protein which are being excreted from the endoplasmic reticulum. So those excreted protein, they will reach here to the Golgi apparatus, and on reaching the Golgi apparatus, they will be covered in a sac, and they will be known as the secretory vesicles. So what happened to the secretory vesicles? Whenever it is needed, so whenever we need any form of protein or anything which is needed to be transferred outside of the cells, so this secretory vesicle, it will go to the plasma membrane, okay, which is the covering of the cell. It will attach there, and after, if when it is needed from the body, it will be excreted out. Okay, so this is how the process takes place. Okay, so the vesicles which are stored, and when needed, they will be moving to the plasma membrane and fuse with it. Okay, so the contents then leave the cells by the process of exocytosis. Okay, so this is about your Golgi apparatus. So just remember, what is a Golgi apparatus? It is a closely folded, flattened membranous sac. Okay, so everything is, if you can see from the diagram itself, it is a very, even it's very closely fold. Okay, like how you fold a paper. Okay, so in that manner, it is closely fold and flattened. Okay, and it also has a membranous sac. And what happens? So it is present in all cells, but it is mostly present in those type of cells where it usually takes place in the process of synthesizing and exporting proteins. Okay, and the proteins, what happen, which moves out from the endoplasmic reticulum, from the rough endoplasmic reticulum, they will be going to the Golgi apparatus, and they will be covered in a sac-like structure, and they will be known as the secretory vesicles or the secretory granules. Okay, so after that, what happens? So whenever any form of protein it is needed to be transferred outside of the cells, so this secretory vesicle, what happened, it will go to the plasma membranes, attach itself to the plasma membranes, and after that it will be released outside of the cells by the process of exocytosis. So this is about your Golgi apparatus. Okay, So you just remember the main function of Golgi apparatus is all this, okay? So they will be forming that secretory vesicles, and also they will be going and attaching itself to the membranes, and they will be releasing the protein, okay, outside of the body. Outside, sorry, not outside of the body, outside of the cell, okay? So this is about your Golgi apparatus. I hope everyone is clear with this. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have any doubt, please ask, okay? Actually, it would have been much better if the class, all this anatomy class now, because it's quite new for everyone. So if we could take it offline, it would be much better. Okay, but anyhow, so we'll move with the next type of organelles, which is called as the lysosomes. Okay, so lysosomes, actually what happens, so this is one type of secretory vesicles. So if you remember, like I have said, the Golgi apparatus, it usually have this secretory vesicles, okay, these vesicles. So these secretory vesicles of the Golgi apparatus, it is also it is also known as your lysosome. Okay, so whenever this Golgi apparatus, it will be releasing all this, right? So all these are also called as a lysosome. So a lysosome, it is one type of secretory vesicle with a membranous wall which are formed by the Golgi apparatus. Okay, so from the Golgi apparatus we get this lysosome, and this lysosome, please mute your microphone. Okay. So this Golgi apparatus, from the Golgi apparatus, we have a type of secretory vesicle which is called as the lysosome. As you can see from the diagram, so in a lysosome also it have a membrane. That means it have a covering, and inside the lysosome we have different types of enzymes. Okay, so actually this lysosome, actually it's a very important type of organelles of a cell. So it is one of the type of organelles which really helps during any type of infection. So whenever any type of foreign bodies enters inside our body, so whenever our immune systems will try to function itself, it will try to remove that foreign body. So which is a main organelles mainly which take part there is your lysosome. So the lysosomes, whatever enzymes is there inside, so these enzymes, what does it do? It helps in digesting any foreign materials, okay, or it helps in killing any type of foreign materials entering inside the body or entering inside the cells, okay. So this contain also, not only that, they also uh, have a transport protein, okay, where they also transport some form of protein. But you just remember in a lysosome, so it is a secretory vesicles which is formed from where? From the Golgi apparatus. And the main function of the lysosome is breaking down of all those different types of molecules, fragments of organelles, and also they have a very important function in fighting also against the any type of foreign materials. Whatever enter inside the cells, these lysosome, they will, with the help of its enzyme, okay, they will try to digest any type of foreign materials which enters inside the cells. For example, a microbes, okay, or any form of other microbes. It can be your virus, it can be your bacteria, okay, any form of microbes, okay, which is destroying the cells. So it tries to fight all those. So this is about actually about the lysosome. So are you clear with lysosome? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so remember in the
Yes,
lysosome,
ma'am.
we have the enzymes. So the main function of the lysosome actually is this. They will try to break down, they will try to not only the organelles, so any type of fragments, suppose from the organelles also, if needed to be destroyed, it will try to destroy everything. And the main function, it mainly helps in fighting against any type of foreign materials which enters inside our body. It will try to kill it, or it will try to destroy it with the help of the enzymes. So this you'll be learning more in detail when you reach your, okay, when you're learning about, you'll be learning about immunity and all those. So when you learn immunity, you'll really, you'll really understand how, what is the main function of lysosome, okay? So next we'll see the ribosomes. Okay, so like if you remember, the ribosome, we used to see it in the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, just remember all these organelles which are present in the cytoplasms, all of them, they are quite interrelated, okay? So some it is related to this, like how we have seen even here, ribosome, it is related with endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, then again from the endoplasmic reticulum, the protein is related, which is released from there. It is again attached to the Golgi apparatus. From the Golgi apparatus, also whatever protein it is being released, it forms as a ribosome. So everything in the cytoplasm, all the organelles are interconnected or interrelated. Okay. So what is a ribosome? Whenever we say ribosome, they are tiny granules. Granules means like a marble type. Okay. So whenever we say granules, like round shape. Okay. So granules like, so those are like this, if you can see from the diagram. So these actually, they have, what does they compose? They compose RNA and protein. Okay. So they lie either freely in the cytoplasm. Okay, so it's not like every ribosome is attached to a endoplasmic reticulum. Some of them, they are just freely being dispersed in the cytoplasm. Okay, not every ribosome is being attached. Some are freely dispersed, some are attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, or some are even there in the mitochondria. If you remember in the mitochondria, I'll show you one diagram. So here also we have some ribosome. Okay, so some are here, some are being attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and some of them, they are just freely dispersed. Okay. Okay, this one. Okay, so if you see in the diagram also, we have some freely dispersed ribosome. In the diagram, you can see ribosome. So those are freely dispersed. So remember that a ribosome, it can be either dispersed freely, it can be attached to this endoplasmic reticulum as rough endoplasmic reticulum, or it can be attached to a mitochondria. Okay. So ribosomes are actually the principal organelles which is involving in the process of protein synthesis. Okay, so they are the one which is really functioning. If you remember from the beginning also, I have said the main function of ribosome is mostly in the protein synthesis. Okay, so this is about your ribosome. Are you clear with this? Okay, so remember a ribosome, it is a tiny granules, okay, like a round, small round marble shape of structure, and it usually compose RNA and protein. And the main function of a ribosome, it is mostly for the synthesis of protein. Okay, so and they are either lie freely outside, freely dispersed in the cytoplasm, or they can be attached to an endoplasmic reticulum or even in the mitochondria. Okay, clear? I hope everyone is clear. Okay, so don't be confused with ribosome, lysosome. Okay, so let me see this. Okay, so the other topic I'll continue in the next class. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
okay, are you clear till now? Because I don't want to teach everything in a bulk. Okay, because you'll be very confused. Okay, mitochondria is what? It is the
Powerhouse of the cell.
powerhouse of the powerhouse of the cell, and we have 4 compartments. Okay, so we have the outer. Okay, so within the between the inner and the outer, also we have some membrane, some enzymes. Okay, then we have some folded structure inside, which is called as a cristae. Within the cristae, we have the matrix, where the main function is there, where the synthesis of energy is mainly produced from there. Okay. Then if you see about endoplasmic reticulum, what is the main difference between the smooth and the rough endoplasmic reticulum? Yes?